This is the Simcoe County Suicide Awareness Council World Suicide Prevention Day bench dedication ceremony up from Parry Sound. It's about to begin. We'll just allow you to view the beautiful view here. We're doing some opening music. The bench will be unveiled at the end of this.
We'd like to start off with the land acknowledgement, and I hope I pronounce all the proper pronunciation. We would like to acknowledge that we are located on the land that belongs to the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi peoples. This is the territory of the Wasauksing and Shawanaga First Nations and is under the Robinson-Huron Treaty.
Perfect, thank you. Just bear with us. Obviously today is somewhat of an emotional day for all of us, so just bear with us. Can everybody hear me? Just a thumbs up if you can. Okay, cool. All right. So hello and welcome. Thank you all for taking the time to attend this event today in beautiful Parry Sound. Thank you to all the community residents and town of Parry Sound officials who have provided our council a warm reception last year when we proposed to have our bench dedication here at this beautiful location. I think this might be in my top 3 for our benches so far. It's just beautiful. So thank you all so much for coming. Where are we? From the bottom of all of our hearts, we truly appreciate everyone coming together for this very meaningful event, one that all of us on our council hold very near and dear to our hearts, and I'm sure for lots of you folks in the audience as well. The founder and the chair of our council, Bernadette Ramsey Copeland, is usually at the helm of the microphone for all of our social events, I would say. However, she's unfortunately unable to attend, but our council would like to acknowledge and thank her for her steadfast commitment over the last 2 decades to promoting change to those affected by suicide, not only in Simcoe County, but beyond. She's a trailblazer, a true unsung hero, and our council members are very grateful for all her dedication to generating a greater awareness and support within communities in Ontario. So together we can change the conversation surrounding mental illness and suicide. As we get started, I would like to take the time to have all of our council members come up. We actually have new fancy dancy shirts this year. So everyone in purple, please come up just so everyone can easily identify you. In case anyone wants to chat with any of our members from our council afterwards, please know that we welcome that, and we'll stick around after for any conversation. So our council, the Simcoe County Suicide Awareness Council, works diligently to bring suicide awareness, remembrance, and support to communities in and around the greater Simcoe County area. Although we've been brought together by tragedy, Barb. Yeah, you're not getting away from us. Come on.
You gotta be in the picture, lady.
Yeah, we're kind of a rogue council. Like, it's not all structured, and yeah, we cry a lot and mispronounce stuff, but our hearts are in the right place. So we not only were brought together, most of us by some sort of a loss, a suicide loss. But we provide support to one another, and I think to communities that we do our bench dedications in. So I just want to personally say thank you to each and every single one of you, because when I was at the lowest point in my life after losing my dad, you welcomed me with open arms and provided me a safe place to share about my father's suicide without judgment, and offered me a position on this council. So thank you very much. And thank you for volunteering me to be the MC today. That's it. You guys can go take your seats or stay with me. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I just wanted everyone to, before we had our nice nifty shirts, people didn't know who our council was, so I just wanted to make that visual representation.
You're rocking it, Katie.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I have 4 kids. I'm sick, and 2 of the kids are sick. So we're everyone's doing the best we can. So my name's Katie Vickery, and I'm a proud member of the Simcoe County Suicide Awareness Council, and I have been for the last 7 years since I lost my dad to suicide. I am here today as a daughter, but I'm also a police officer. I'm in my 15th year of policing, and I work for the Ontario Provincial Police. And I'm also a mom to 4 beautiful sons. Both personally and professionally, I experienced the direct and indirect effects of suicide. I have dedicated most of my career to mental health advocacy and raising awareness and education in an effort to reduce stigma and provide supports to not only those that are struggling, but to folks that are supporting loved ones or friends or family that may be struggling. If I'm being completely honest and transparent here today, I have recently taken time away from my workplace to seek treatment for my own issues, including PTSD. There was once a day, not even a year ago, where I wouldn't have been strong enough to stand before this large crowd and be so vulnerable out of fear of judgment that I would be viewed as weak, ultimately affecting my career. But here I am challenging those beliefs and using myself as an example of resiliency in the fight to decrease stigma and increase education and awareness surrounding mental health related issues, which obviously, as we know, involve suicide.
Woo! Good job, Katie. You're always such a good advocate.
Thank you. So today we gather here on September the 10th. This has been designated World Suicide Prevention Day, and the theme this year for 2024 is changing the narrative on suicide. The aim is to raise awareness about the importance of changing the narrative surrounding suicide and transforming how people perceive this complex issue. All of us gathering here today are in a safe place where we can connect and engage in dialogue with compassion, which we all believe promotes a better level of understanding. Changing the narrative requires systemic change. It's about shifting from a culture of silence and stigma to one of openness, understanding, and support. Whether you are struggling or supporting a loved one who is struggling, our council wants you to know that you are not alone. There is hope, and as our motto says, hope equals life. For anyone in the crowd who has lost someone that they love to suicide, please know that there is a Survivors of Suicide Loss support group, which has been running for roughly 30 years in the Parry and Orillia area. I've completed the program twice, and although it's painful and heartbreaking to be connected with fellow survivors and share about my loss and hear about their loss, I will forever be thankful for the connections that I've made. One of our guest speakers here today, Terry Lynn, and I met the second time that I did the group, and our unique relationship has developed and grown over the last 6 years, and I'm very, very grateful for that. We have literature over here on our table from our council, as well as some magnets and pamphlets and candles, which I'll speak to later, but please help yourself. Also, I know you guys are all in the direct sun. I did that on purpose. There's water here as well if anyone's thirsty. So today marks the 9th bench dedication for our council, and just to let you all know, we've gifted various communities, including Collingwood, Bracebridge, 2 in Orillia, 1 at the lake and 1 at our OPP general headquarters out in front. Also in Agila, Tosserantio, Parry, and Rama First Nations, just to name a few. Usually Bernadette will mention in her speech how far we've come as a society around shame and guilt associated with suicide. She usually every year will recall how 40 years ago, when her sister died by suicide, it wasn't spoken about, and in fact it was hidden. It was very shameful. Even the word suicide was once very taboo and associated with guilt and shame. If I'm being completely honest, I can tell you that I've lost 4 men in my family to suicide, and I would say that it's been the last 15 years that our family is open about talking about it and acknowledging that this does happen, and it happens to anybody and everybody, so it doesn't discriminate. According to the Government of Canada, approximately 12 people die by suicide each day. So this equates to 4,500 deaths by suicide every year. Suicide rates are approximately 3 times higher among men compared to women, and tragically, suicide is the second leading cause of death among youth and our young adults between 15 and 34 years of age. I think we can all agree that these numbers are heartbreaking, and obviously our council members have been directly affected by suicide. So it's our hopes that by coming forward and talking about suicide and remembering our loved ones and the great lives that they lived, not just how they died, will show support within communities. And we can all help change the narrative, which is, as I mentioned, this year's theme. So we've reached the point today where we're going to have a few guest speakers come up and say a few words. Firstly, I would like to invite Brandon Charlebois, who's our local OPP Community Safety and Media Relations Officer. Thank you, Brandon.
And you get these words out quick before Jason Brady starts yelling again. I only dig at Jason because I was doing a media interview on the main street in Parry Sound. He wheeled by with the ambulance yelling while we were like mid-take. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, as always. Good afternoon, everybody. It's an absolute honor to be here along with Sergeant Shelley Van Erp to represent the West Parry Sound OPP. I want to thank the Simcoe County Suicide Awareness Council and the town of Parry Sound for unveiling this memorial bench on World Suicide Prevention Day. This bench is a beacon for anyone who has ever felt alone, a safe space for reflection, a gathering point for community and conversation. It's a reminder that we're here for one another, that no one must face their challenges alone. It represents a collective promise to listen, to support, and to act with empathy. As we dedicate this bench, let's renew our common commitment to raise awareness, break the stigma, and foster an open environment surrounding mental health and encouraging conversation and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Those were really touching words from the heart. Thank you. We appreciate that. Next to address the crowd is Haley Redmond, Superintendent of the Parry Sound District Paramedic Services. Come on up here, Haley.
Probably. I'll also try and keep it short because Jason will yell at me as well. We know it. He will. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here today. It's a beautiful day to do this. My name is Haley Redmond. I'm a superintendent for Parry Sound District Paramedic Service. I'm here with my co-workers today. I've been a paramedic for 16 years and I have been affected by suicide. So I should have gone first because now I'm going to repeat myself for some of the stuff. But I know a few things about suicide. Firstly, I know I have to switch glasses to be able to read what I know. As we just heard, that it's the #2 cause of death in young people. Suicide has cancer beat all cancers for young people. It's got cancer beat. The suicide rate is 4 times higher among our young Indigenous people and higher again in our young LGBTQ community. Paramedics and other safety personnel are at much greater risk of suicide than the general public. And suicide's the end result of a painful illness. And sometimes we don't even see that illness. Sometimes the people closest to those who die by suicide don't even see that illness. The illness that leads to suicide is treatable. So that makes suicide preventable. Am I not? Knew it was too low. But here in Canada, what we love is reactive medicine. We love to wait until an illness reaches a certain point and then we treat it rather than try and prevent that illness. We also love to treat an illness as an exclusive entity rather than treat a whole person and have a whole person-centered approach. In the world of healthcare, mental illnesses are afforded less. They are afforded less research, less funding, less advocacy, less awareness, and it's time to change that. How can I tell you to end the stigma of mental injury and illness that lead to suicide when our healthcare system doesn't demonstrate the same? I don't have the answer. I think people much smarter than me are working on that. But what I do know is until we adopt a practice of whole community initiatives that involve the meaningful engagement of our young people, there'll be little change. Until we collectively teach our children from a really young age to be whole person healthy, including their mind, there's going to be little change. Until we focus on maintaining a healthy mind instead of trying to fix a broken one, it's going to be little change. Until we talk about suicide without whispering and using a hushed voice, until we speak up and just talk about it because it's right here, there's going to be little change. As a paramedic, today holds a great deal of meaning for me. I've lost colleagues and friends, as well as patients, many, many, many patients to suicide. On the front lines and in my workplace, I've seen the pain that leads people to believe that the only way out is to end their lives. And I've seen so many families shattered by that. Conversely, I've also seen the other side. I've also seen when that light cracks through a little bit and people come and ask for help, and that help leads them to stay here on the planet with us. Even though it seems like the hardest choice that they've ever made. So let's remind ourselves and each other that help is available, that we're never alone, that our struggles don't define us, that's not who we are. It's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. Let's be there for one another, not just today, but every day. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, so let's talk, let's listen, and let's be here for each other because every life matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haley. Beautifully said, beautifully said. The next speaker right now will be the president of our Ontario Provincial Police Association, John Terrasolo.
I think that'll work. Okay. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Ontario Provincial Police Association,
Sorry.
and its members, we thank you for the invitation to attend this bench dedication ceremony today. Thank you very much to the Simcoe County Suicide Awareness Council, everyone who has put in the endless hours of work into making today's event possible. Thank you for everyone attending today, for the speakers today and sharing. But I'm especially proud of the work of 3 of our OPPA members who are present here today. To OPP Provincial Constable Katie Vickery, thank you for making a difference for our community by sharing your story and leading this event today as Master of Ceremonies. Thank you to retired OPP Provincial Constable, Detective Constable Sean Evans, who has not only built and donated this bench, but a number of benches throughout the area, honoring those who have died by suicide and ensuring that their memories are with us forever. Once again, thank you to retired OPP communicator Lee Mathieu for your tireless work and for providing the beautiful music today. Thank you to the members of the Parry Sound OPP detachment and our fellow first responders who have come to support this event today. Your attendance here at this event is so important and very much appreciated. Far too long, we have not acknowledged the memories of our loved ones who have died by suicide. Since the OPPA began collecting statistics since 1989, we've lost 49 members to through this unfortunate manner. With events like these, we have the opportunity to honor and remember them as a community. I hope that many people will use this bench not only to remember the loved ones that we have lost, but to reflect on how we can make a difference in the lives of those who are still here. The bench acts as a reminder that we are not alone. Look after one another and keep up this incredible work. Thank you, R.C. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, John. Next, we will have the Mayor of Parry Sound, Jamie McGarvey, to come up and say a few words, please, sir.
Thank you, Katie. Can you hear me okay? I want to thank everyone that has come out today to this event. On behalf of council and staff and myself, thank you for putting on this bench dedication. It is extremely important. When I look around the people that are here and see the support services and the families that all have to deal or had to deal with suicide in their lives, it really touches one deeply. A lot of people never know what goes on in a family. And, you know, changing the narrative, having that conversation is so important. I can think of people in my life that have certainly, we were fortunate to have that conversation and work through it and come out the other side. But there are many situations where that doesn't happen. So to the Simcoe Suicide Awareness Group, keep doing what you're doing. It's extremely important. To all those support services that are out here, the OPP, the paramedics, social services, and the OPP, thank you for what you're doing. I know that you walk into some situations sometimes that you have a lot to deal with, and we commend you for that. So this bench is here as an awareness and certainly a tribute to those that have gone, and hopefully those that it may spark someone to have that conversation in the future, and we can only hope that, so that we do that. I'd also like to commend Terry Lynn Stevens and her group for what they're doing here locally. Terry Lynn, thank you. The more awareness that we can have, the more conversations that we can have, the better. And I would really want to thank everyone for being here today. I would have liked to have seen more people. You know, we have those support services and that here, but the general public sometimes needs to know a lot more about what goes on, and that would be appreciated as well. But anyway, it is what it is. We are here, and I thank you very much, and enjoy this day. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, to your point, you know, sometimes we get large crowds, sometimes like today it's a smaller crowd, but at the end of the day, we just keep plugging along and doing what we're doing. And, you know, word of mouth, social media, print media, radio, we get the word out there, right? So I just, again, want to reiterate our gratitude to everyone for taking time out of all your busy schedules. I know how busy you are. Thank you so much. So Terry Lynn and I met 6 years ago at the Survivors of Suicide group. And as the mayor said, she's been doing marvelous work up here in Parry Sound area to raise awareness regarding mental health and suicide. And now she is going to speak, and I couldn't be any more proud of you. So the mic's all yours, girl.
I'm short. Yep. And Jason, don't yell at me.
No, I'm done yelling.
Is that good enough? Yeah. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming to share in this beautiful bench dedication on World Suicide Prevention Day. We're all here today because we all have been impacted some way, somehow, by suicide. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Terry Lynn Stevens, and I'm here as a survivor of suicide loss and a mental health and wellness advocate here in Parry Sound. As I was preparing for today's event, I was drawn to this year's theme, changing the narrative on suicide, shifting from a culture of silence and stigma to one of openness, understanding, and support. This theme really struck a chord with me. Let's take a minute and define the word stigma. Stigma is defined as a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. Wow, let that sit with you for a minute. Stigma still remains one of the biggest barriers preventing people from seeking treatment or ending their silence about their illness. I realized that when I lost my husband, Dr. Rob Stevens, to suicide in December of 2017, I was part of the culture of silence and stigma generation. I was perpetuating the stigma and needed to change my narrative. While we were waiting for the autopsy report to come back, I remember clearly asking my therapist one very important question. If the report comes back to say Rob died by suicide, what am I going to tell my kids? She replied calmly and matter-of-factly with, "You are going to tell them the truth." That was a very powerful piece of advice that has remained with me over the last 7 years. I remember that conversation as if it was yesterday and realized then that I now had an opportunity to help change the narrative and landscape of the not so long ago taboo topic of suicide in memory of Rob. Fast forward to today. We all, each and every one of us here today, have a role to play in changing the narrative on suicide, and it can start today with just a few simple actions. Know the facts by educating yourself. Never assume. Challenge the myths and stereotypes. Take it one step further by educating others. Be aware of your own attitudes and behaviors. Treat everyone with dignity, compassion, and respect. Speak up. Use your voice to raise awareness about suicide and mental health. Start the conversation. I encourage you to check in on a friend or loved one, share personal stories, and advocate for mental health resources and support in your community. Every conversation, big or small, contributes to a supportive and understanding community. By initiating these conversations, we will start to break down barriers, raise awareness, and create a supportive culture. Talking about mental health is not attention-seeking. People die in silence every day, including my husband, due to this judgment, and then people finally say, "I wish they spoke up." Normalize talking about mental health and don't leave it until it's too late. In closing, and most importantly, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry Lynn. Don't repeat what I whispered in your ear. Keep doing the good work you're doing up here, girl. It's not for nothing, and I'm sure Rob is so proud of you, beaming down on you. Now, we are so appreciative and thankful to have Shane Tabagadung, member of the Wasauking First Nation, to address the crowd here today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wabun and Nungo Dijnakaza Miknadodem Wasak Sing Nunjaba Anishnabandao. My English name is Shane. My original Anishinaabeg name is Morning Star, translated. It represents who I am and what my purpose is in life. And a morning star is a beacon of hope. So it kind of aligns with the work I've done my whole life and the work of that's being done here and bringing you all out today. I am just to locate myself a bit. I'm former chief of Wasauksing First Nation. I was chief about 15 years ago. Just at the beginning of my term, I lost my brother to suicide, and it kind of woke me up because through our elders and teachers. I carry him with me, much like Terry Lynn does with Doc Rob, and much of us do. They left us with the responsibility to carry a message, and that, much like all the statistics we hear, they're people, and they ask us to share that message of hope and of new beginnings and they've sacrificed of themselves. And we understand that our Creator God is the only one that can really take a life. So that's how we understand and believe when we lose someone, because there's always that question, why? What could I have done differently? But there's a message that they leave us and a strong movement that it's great to be a part of. I now am the president of Feather Carriers Life Promotion. It's an Indigenous approach to changing the narrative and actually shifting our thinking. The paradigm shift sometimes we talk about promoting life, understanding, and we talk about suicide. We know there's we have to break the stigma, but we also want to think of those that when we term it unnatural premature death. So think about that. That's what happens to a lot of our people. They pass by an unnatural premature death, because what we're trying to share is that there's a beautiful life here. This beautiful land creation is here for us to enjoy, and we need to share that message with everyone. So I'm here at the request of John Rice, who's been very connected with the Simcoe group of Suicide Awareness Council, and so I was honored to come. He had to step away because he had a loss in his family, and he had to attend to that. But again, he's one of our founders of Life Promotion Feather Carriers. It's online. We're a national corporate. We're nationally incorporated. We are all corners of Canada, to the far north, to the west coast, to the east coast, and of course we kind of originated in Simcoe region and Wissahickon, and kind of have spread out from there. But we work with a lot of Indigenous folks and non-Indigenous allies that are really interested in learning our Indigenous perspective on life promotion and how we view that walk into that Western doorway, as we call it, and how we honor that. So I just want to share that much about our purpose and my purpose and what I'm here for. I'm also here to help with blessing of the bench itself, and I'll share more about that when that time comes. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Shane. In just a few short minutes, we will finally reveal the bench. I just wanted to make mention to my old partner here, Sean Evans. Love you. For the last 4 years, he has made this bench in his wood shop in Alliston, Ontario. Sean and I started off as co-workers, but quickly became intertwined in our hearts, and really talented carpenter, and has made this and donated it to our council, especially during COVID when we didn't have any funds. So we just wanted to extend our most sincere appreciation to you and thank you. These benches, I'm sure, will stand the test of time, how you've made them, and thank you so much for that, Sean. I'm sure when you guys were walking up today, you heard some music playing. It was Christina and Sean here. Christina's Sean's music teacher, and they were serenading the crowd, and I just wanted to say thank you to Christina as well, and thank you for coming year after year to support our council. So thank you. So before we, oh yeah, come ahead, come.
I don't know if anyone noticed, but when Shane was speaking, there was actually a single turkey vulture that graced us with its presence. And I looked it up, and it says it's often associated with death and transformation, but also knowledge, wisdom, and resourcefulness. And it reminds you to ride the currents of warmth in your own life.
Wow. Oh my God, I'm so glad you
That was pretty beautiful.
Yes. That's so cool. That's never happened before. Thank you for sharing that. So without further ado, we're going to get to the bench, but in the meantime, Lee Matthew here behind me, Matthew. I just think it's cooler, Matthew. So Lee was an OPP dispatcher. She never actually dispatched me, but she's a rock star, and she's done so much work behind the scenes with the council, and she's going to sing a song that she wrote. I'll let her speak about the song, but it's called Hands of Time. So we're going to listen to that, and then we will finally unveil the bench.
If anyone wants to grab a water or anything, feel free to come on up. It's hot.
I get a lot of variations, it's okay.
Oh no, they're right here.
Okay, here. There's some, yeah, there's cold ones in the cooler. So as Katie mentioned, I was a communication operator for OPP for 32 years. Currently, I'm now dispatching part-time for Royal Fire, so I guess I just can't walk away completely. But the reason I wrote the song was in 2011, I lost my cousin 2 weeks before Christmas to suicide. And then a week after New Year's, my best friend lost her daughter to suicide. So within a month, I'd lost two people that just really touched me. And I wrote the song for my friend and my aunt. I was hoping that it would help them understand that we do understand the pain they're going through. We're there for you, we're there to support you. And if I could do anything, I would turn back the hands of time, but I can't. But anyway, that's what the name of the song is, Hands of Time. A sunny day, but I can't feel the sun, flowers bright, but I can't smell the blooms. Children play, but I can't hear them laugh. I'm so empty since I lost you. If I could turn back the hands of time, I'd wrap my arms around you, I'd never let you go. If I could turn back the hands of time, I'd tell you that I love you more than you'll ever know. But I can't turn back the hands of time. Someday I pray that I will understand why you had to leave us that way. Signs I didn't see, the guilt that's haunting me. My heart weighs so heavy with this pain. If I could turn back the hands of time, I'd wrap my arms around you, I'd never let you go. If I could turn back the hands of time, I'd tell you that I love you more than you'll ever know. But I can't turn back the hands of time. Hold you just for one more day, to see you smile and kiss your face. But I know there's no way. If I could turn back the hands of time, but I can't turn back the hands of time. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Lee. Thank you. So, without further ado, if Shane, if you wanted to bless the bench, and what's that?
We unveil it and then we do this.
Oh, okay, so we'll unveil it then. Yeah, sounds good. Do you want to do the honors?
Oh,
Sure. Bernadette's not here, so we're just kind of like going rogue today. See if we get in trouble later.
So if we have Brandon and the mayor, Haley, could you come up, and Terry Lynn?
Yeah, we can kind of move the crowd over towards that way. You guys mind if I take a photo?
Go ahead. Dave, do you want to come up too? As Dave, do you want to come up as well? Yeah. You. Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right. So you want to grab the cloth and take it off? Straight up? Yeah, sure. And do the unveiling. There we go.
Are you usually the first one to sit
So
on?
that's my friend, my new friend Barb that I met today. To help me. I'm just gonna share some words of blessing for this bench. Mishomsanan wabanang, mishomsanan jawanang, mishomsanan nagabinang, mishomsanan juwednang. Chumigwechwen namago manda binobamazuan janja, kendaman ishnaba mazuan. Aki kwe minwani boy kwenado, chumigwech, idokwishnang, mazuan. Ushkabewis, idokwishnang, kujamidogegin, minwamishnawan more. On this day, I'll interpret those words. So, from the east, we have the new hope of a new day. The sun rises, and we acknowledge that gift of hope that comes. To the south, we have new life that emerges. And so we acknowledge the new life that also comes from that direction. To the west, we acknowledge our ancestors and that wisdom and knowledge that comes from those that are in that most beautiful place, from heaven, or Ishkaming as we call it. And to the north, we acknowledge our healing. I acknowledge our Mother the Earth for all this beautiful land that she provides for us, and she is the teacher of unconditional love. So she continues to give us life regardless of how humankind sometimes treats her. We acknowledge our waters, the lifeblood that connects us all, not only humankind but all of creation. And we acknowledge our shkaubewis, as I call them, our spirit helpers, or some people call them guardian angels. They're the ones that look out for us. They sit on our shoulders, they give us that intuition. So I acknowledge each and every one of those spirit helpers that have brought us here today. We acknowledge most humbly our Creator, who's put all this delicate balance of life in the universe in play, and continues to maintain that. So we most humbly acknowledge that. I offer this smudge, and this is one of our original medicines that kind of help us to understand things. We usually use this as a purification ceremony so that when people sit here, they can find understanding. And so we offer this medicine, and I'll ask my helper, Barb, to maybe offer this to use after I offer it to this space and to this place. She'll go around. It's not offensive if you have an allergy and you can't. You can just ask her to pass it on. But it is our way of kind of helping to bring about understanding and cleansing, so that we can understand some of those tough things that we need to understand when we're healing. So with that, I say miigwech, and I'll offer this smudge.
just saw Barb making her way around to the crowd.
Hi everyone. So this poem was written by Lee Matthews. That's beautiful. Do I think about you often? You know that I do. Did I think the pain would soften? You know that I do. Do I still wish you were here? You know that I do. Do I relive all your memories? You know that I do. Do I miss your hugs and kisses? You know that I do. Do I still ask why you left? You know that I do. Will I ever forget you? You know that I won't. And do I hope we'll meet again? You know that I do. Until we meet again, you know that I love you. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. That is beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. So one more thing that we would just like to mention before we wrap things up here today is that the Canadian government has implemented a 988 crisis line. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of that, and if you are, it's just repeat information. And if you didn't know, we just wanted to make people aware that anybody can now call or text, or even there's an online chat function to be connected live right away with a crisis response worker. So they're trained in care and compassion, and it's free and it's confidential. And I just wanted to mention a thank you to Shane for the beautiful blessing of the bench and the smudge. Thank you very much. Big thank you for all of you guys for attending our council's 9th annual bench dedication here in beautiful Parry Sound. Please help yourselves to candles that are over here on the table. And in honor of today, September 10th, World Suicide Prevention Day, we ask everyone to light the flameless candle tonight around 8 o'clock, just for light and hope, and so that you can reflect on all the things that we've kind of talked about today and all the special words that our presenters spoke. It's a visual sign of light and love. And put it in the window, Lee says. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming again. Please continue to be kind to one another and look for opportunities to change the narrative on suicide. From the Simcoe County Suicide Awareness Council, thank you so much for coming.